All right, well, welcome back to Exhaust Sports Auto. My name is Kevin, and you join me inside my home office now. Yeah, I basically just live in this thing because, well, I'm just poor, so it is what it is. But speaking of which, I actually am very prepared for this video because, as you can see, I have all my Lexus attire on. I got the little hat on here, right? Got the little shirt on. It says Lexus on the side here. You can't really see it from where you are, but I also even have this Lexus pen so I can sign people's forehead because I'm such a global sensation, such a hit, right? All right, enough of the nonsense. Move forward, talk about what actually matters. This 2022 Lexus ES, which got unveiled. So 2022 ES, what do I think about it as a whole? Yeah, looks good. I like it. Got some nice little changes here. But obviously, we already saw the LS getting revised, changed a little bit, right, in a similar fashion. And that's kind of what we have going on here with the ES. It's got like a similar type of headlight design going on. And that's cool for the ES. I don't really mind it here. But for the LS, I think most of us, we like the 2020 model year where they kind of had like that peacock design for the headlights. And we also preferred the interior on the older LS, or older, like the 2020 model year LS essentially. So not too many people were fond of that refresh, but for the ES, I think most people like it, myself included. I am also a fan of this, as well as some of the technological changes that were made. So let's kind of go into it. The highlights, of course, is the addition of an F-Sport trim to the ES 300H models. But keep in mind, that's actually only for select regions. We don't know which regions yet. I'm sure they're still trying to work that out, essentially. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me because F-Sport, it's kind of missing the point with the ES. And I'll get into that a little bit later on. But also we have some technological changes. Okay, obviously the infotainment, they've added basically the same infotainment you see on the LS models. Okay, there's going to be a 12.3-inch screen as well as like an 8-inch screen, right? So 8-inch screen, that's going to be for like the more base models. Obviously, with the ES, I don't really recommend you going with the base model. I think the luxury trim is where you want to be. But also that 12.3-inch screen, it's been moved forward 4.3 inches closer to the driver because it's a touchscreen. You're supposed to interact with it as a touchscreen because everyone hates the current Lexus infotainment screens, right? They hate interacting with this mouse pad thing. Honestly, me personally, I like the Lexus infotainment. I like this old school mouse pad thing. For me, I think it's logical. I think it's laid out easy. It's pretty simple for me to use, but 99% of people hate it, so they went with a touchscreen. So I guess it's cool. It's going to have the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Most people want that. It's going to have that here. You also get some safety tech upgrades as well as some standard features. So blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, that has been made standard across the board for all the Lexus models. I assumed that they would have done that before, but okay, whatever. Now it's for sure standard. But also you got some technology updates / upgrades, if you want to call it that. So the kind of camera system for the pre-collision assist and all that stuff, that's been upgraded, so it's a little bit more efficient, more accurate, things like that. So you can expect better performance there as far as the safety technology goes. Also, other things were added, like, when you put the turn signal on left or right, doesn't matter. It'll help to detect either pedestrians or cars because sometimes the A-pillar could create a blind spot, right? And people can be kind of swallowed up through that. So this technology is going to kind of help you not hit people or cars, essentially. So that's always a good thing, right? Kind of active lane keep assist, that also kind of got updated here. What you're going to end up having is like a curve control, basically. So when you're using the radar cruise control, you have with the lane keep assist on, it's actually going to do a better job of reading the lines now because obviously it's going to have a better camera system, but also it's going to detect the curves and it's going to slow down for the curves to make it, slightly more luxurious ride, I suppose. You don't want too much body lean, all that stuff going on. Also, another thing that got updated, if the vehicle detects a slower driver in front of you, like when you're using the radar cruise control, if you signal over, it'll actually safely pass the person in front. So that's another thing that got added. So you got a few little technology bumps there as well. So that's always a cool thing, I suppose, for most people. But all this aside, okay, what makes the Lexus ES great? Okay, this new generation, like the one that came after 2019, right? That 2019 and 2021 model range, right? I've driven all these models. I drove a base model ES350. I drove a luxury trim ES300H, and I drove the F-Sport ES350, okay? The luxury and ultra luxury trim ESs, man, that's where you want to be. That's where the Lexus ES really shines. I have said this multiple times. It's been one of the top luxury cars I have consistently recommended to people. Why? Because you get so much here. This is a proper luxury car done the right way. This feels like a proper flagship. Some people even say that this thing rides better than the LS because, you know, the LS also has, the LS 500, I mean, has run flat tires, all that good stuff. ES range doesn't really have that issue, and it just rides like butter. Keep in mind, this car has no sporting intentions, okay? And this is why the F Sport, in my opinion, is a waste of time, because now you just have like this compromise of, you know, you don't really quite have the sport, and you also don't quite have like the full luxury, supreme plush ride you get across the board with the non-F Sport ES trims, okay? And the 300H, this is a car I would personally consider either leasing as like a daily driver if I was really, you know, conscious of the MPG numbers, right? This thing is going to get like 40 MPG. It's going to be supremely quiet. It's going to be smooth. It's going to be silky. And I mean, you just need to drive it for yourself. It really is that good. It's a good size vehicle, right? Because it's front wheel drive, right? But it doesn't matter if it's front wheel drive, diagonal drive. It really doesn't matter. What makes this car great is just, for American roads, it is a supreme cruiser, and you can get a 50K. You know, you can lease this thing if you can get it under $500 a month or something like that without any money down. This is such a brilliant luxury car to put on your driveway. It has a flagship six-figure quality, and they've managed to do that because they kind of skimped out on the pure driving dynamics. You don't want to push it hard. You don't want to floor it through a corner or anything crazy like that. You just want to chill in it, and for everyday street driving, is one of the greatest luxury cars. So that being said, okay, long rant over. They tried to inject some more sportiness to this vehicle because they kind of mentioned the IS here, the latest one that just got created, basically, or redesigned. So Lexus has a new testing racetrack, basically, that they have developed in Japan for the development of these vehicles, right? So the Lexus IS was the first vehicle to be developed on this new racetrack. And the ES is kind of going to continue that. They want to continue this linear driving feel, both in the accelerator, the handling, the braking feel, all that stuff. They want to make the car feel linear and natural to drive. And dynamics is something that they, you know, try to work on. So they added like this dynamic handling package to the F Sport models. I thought that these vehicles already had that, but I guess my memory's slipping. So the F Sport trims are now going to get like the adaptive suspension, if you will. The adaptive variable suspension, so it's going to calibrate like 650 times, like every second. It's going to be studying the road and all the yaw and all the G-force. To be honest, it's all BS. I never really noticed anything with the adaptive suspension, so I'm not too excited about that. And I think it gets like a new tack as well, something like that. Oh, and also it's going to get a Sport Plus and like a custom mode setting as well. Again, all things that are really, that's not what's going to be adding to this ES, basically. I was just kind of like, whatever about all these sporty things that they had to mention about the ES, because the ES is not a sports sedan, okay? This TNGA-K platform, okay? It's not built for sports. This vehicle is not built for sports, and if that's what you're looking for, it's kind of a waste. Lexus did say that they've managed to attract some younger buyers to the ES lineup with the addition of the F Sport. That's great, I mean, I guess, but it looks amazing. I'll give it that. The F Sport trims do look amazing. If you like it, go for it. I'm not saying it's a bad car. I'm just saying you're kind of missing the point with the ES if you go for an F Sport. So again, what I recommend is the luxury and the ultra luxury trims. They are buttery, smooth, and quiet. You're going to be getting double pane glass to make it even quieter, so that's great. You also have a new set of wheel options. So the 17 inches, that's going to be the base standard wheel size, which is great. You know, the vehicle rides amazing with those. But you also have a new selection of 18-inch wheels, and there's another 18-inch wheel that's made to reduce the tire noise created, and this 18-inch wheel setup is going to be, I think, bespoke to the luxury and ultra luxury trims, I believe. So something to keep in mind, that's what you want. You know, those 18-inch setups with the luxury trims, that's what's going to make this vehicle incredible, quiet, plush. Yeah, man, that's where the highlight is with the ES. So exterior design, also, you know, the the grill, right? It got a new kind of design going on, obviously the headlights, but it's a nice, sleek looking car. I've always said this. I like the way the ES looks. It basically just looks like an LS. So it's got plenty of swagger. I appreciate that. It's got good road presence. So it's a good thing. Interior, obviously, it's going to have a solid interior. You know, I've reviewed multiple Lexus vehicles on this channel. Lexus interiors continue to be one of the best aging interiors by far. It doesn't matter if you have 100K miles or 200K miles. They age flawlessly. So it's going to have a solid interior. Don't worry about that. But on the exterior side, you're going to be getting some new color options. So keep that in mind. I think they're getting rid of the atomic silver. That makes me sad, as well as a few other colors. But the atomic silver was a phenomenal looking color. So it's kind of sad that that's going away. But I'll put up a list of the new colors that will be, you know, arriving. Basically, it's going to look good, but I'm just saying. And you will, of course, have some new interior trims, colors, leathers to choose from. So I like that they're giving you some more options there with the interior. That's nice because, like I mentioned, the Lexus interior is one of the best in class. I love the way it's designed. I think it looks pretty good here. You know, the current generation ES looks amazing. It's basically like it takes some of the best components from the LS. So that's what I'm saying. It really has like this nice plush six-figure feel and solidity to it. And now you're going to have some more options to play with it as far as the interior to kind of spice it up, you know, design it more so the way you want it. So I do like that. But as a whole, kind of wrapping everything up, I don't think they've gone backwards with this ES. Lexus is not stupid. This is one of their top selling vehicles. It's a Japanese company. They always make these incremental changes, and they've done that here. And I know for a fact that they are not going to compromise ride quality. They have said this multiple times with this new press release. I mean, they have like this new interest in making the ES a little bit more dynamic and everything, and that's cool, I guess. But again, missing the point. You're going to love this vehicle in the luxury trim. That's exactly what I recommend. And go ahead and get the ES300H. It's going to make a lot of sense because, well, it's seriously fuel efficient. And if you do a lot of miles, man, it really helps justify the cost of a more expensive vehicle like this, because there's a lot of other luxury cars out there in the market where it's BS, dude. You're really not getting what you're paying for. You know, especially when you can get like a Mazda for 20 to 30 grand, and that's got plenty of luxuries, features, solidity, quality to it. You know, it doesn't really make much sense paying like tens of thousands more for like some of these Euro competitors. But this ES vehicle, man, I keep telling you, this is one of those vehicles. It's actually worth the premium. It's worth putting on your driveway. It's worth at least checking out and test driving for yourself, especially if you're in the market for a new car, especially if you're leasing a new car. It just makes sense. I love driving it. I think most people will. Again, get it in the right trims and you'll be so satisfied with it. And you will love the build quality and the luxury features and the luxury feel of the interior. The outside look, the swagger. It's a prestigious automobile. I really appreciate it. You know, it's not all about rear-wheel drive, and, you know, it's pointless half the time. You know, I don't want to say pointless, but it's just like, as a luxury cruiser, this car just nails it. And some of the other cars that try to blend together the sport thing with the luxury thing, it doesn't always work out unless you're forking over like six figures plus. You see what I'm saying? So this for like 50K, makes a lot of sense. I really appreciate it. The official pricing has not been released for the 2022 ES, but we kind of know on average what it's going to cost. Just look at the 2020 and 2021 prices and you can easily figure it out. So there you go. That's my video on the 2022 ES. I think it's a go. I think it's worth it. They made some nice changes by listening to you guys. I think the changes made to the ES suit this vehicle more than what they did to the LS, essentially. That's such a much more premium vehicle. I don't think the big tablet touchscreen thing kind of matches that interior as much. For this ES, which costs damn near half as much, I can accept it. So you let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.